Hey guys, maintenance on the hydroponic, and a little update, coming up next. Hey guys, good morning. So I thought this morning I'd take you through the hydroponic maintenance that I have to do every week or so here, and tie some tomatoes up, show you a little bit of what's going on there. Lettuce doing awesome. We haven't bought lettuce in a month now. They're doing super nice. This is a new crop down here that is coming up, actually new seeds, because these guys get a little bit thin, I think, and it's not necessarily great lettuce, but this one is awesome. All right, so anyway, we're going to replace the solution in the tomato. We're going to tie it up, all right, because this one is now coming up. We're going to check if we have to do some pruning of them, remove the suckers and stuff. And we'll do the same with the tomato here, getting the liquid replaced, and potentially getting this one out and we can wash it. All right, let's see you in a few. First things first, we're gonna tie this up, all right, because it's in the way, first of all, and every time I move around I run the risk of breaking it. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm taking basically old sheets, all right, which we kind of tear into little strips like that. The plants like them because they're a little bit softer than a rope or anything like that. So, I don't tie it really tight. I leave a lot of room around. I can put 2 fingers between the loop and the plant here. All right. So once I've done that, I just raise it up into my trellis up here. All right. And I don't tie it to the trellis. What I do is, trellis being what they are, there's a piece of wood that goes over the other, right? So what I do is I just jam it gently under the trellis, under the plank of the trellis, right? That way, if I need to, I can just come in and just adjust a little bit, and get the plant a little bit better support. You have to put another one up here. All right, let me do that. All right, because I have them all ready because, it's easier to go. So tie it really loosely around the plant. I usually try to find a good kind of branch that goes out that can support the weight of the whole thing, right? So here we go, like that. Be careful. Bring it up. And tie it. All right. We have 2 big ones here that probably needs to be tied as well. Let me take that out of the way. All right, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to bring you in closer so you can see what I'm doing here. All right, so you can, let me just take this up a little bit. All right, so you see that big stalk right here, right? So like I said, I take one of those things, find a nice little branch. So you see this one here is kind of big enough, it will support the whole weight of this branch here, right? So I'm putting my 2 fingers so that I can do the loose loop, couple of knots, and it's kind of all nice and, I don't know if you can see the 2 fingers here. So that's kind of how loose I like them. So then what I do, I go in the back, and I find a little board here, you know, and I push it under, and I just kind of squeeze it in there, and that's plenty to secure it, right? I need to do the same to this one right here. So again, you see here I have a nice little area to put it in. I'm probably going to take this one out in a second here, just to force the plant to make more tomatoes and not leaves. Because also, if I don't do that, in a couple of weeks this will be impossible to walk in, because they're just going to come out too much. All right, so again, find another trellis area like that and just squeeze it under, right? Easy enough. All right, let's start a little bit of trimming here. So what I tried to do is find, you know, main trunk of the tomato plant, right? Then they put leaves out, and then they have these little guys here that are just at the base. These are called suckers, and those sometimes are super easy to deal with when they're small. Some of them are a little bigger like this and don't have anything of flowers here. So just gonna cut that, so that way it's gonna send more energy into the flowers, and I have more up here, more down, you know, so that's what we do. All right, you have to do that for a bunch of them. See right here, same situation right here, right? Okay, you see this? So it's right in between the main leaf and the main stalk. So what I do, I just go in and nip that off. All right. I have a lot of them to do. All right, let me put you over here and go to work. All right, I've pruned most of it. Okay, I think it's in good shape right now. Just wanted to bring you in real close so that you can see what's going on right now. So you can see I have nice little tomatoes starting. I have more up here, flowers everywhere with more tomatoes, you know. So that's why we do this, so that we focus the energy of the plant into making tomato and not leaves. All right, so here that's a different one. You see, this is a yellow pear tomato, right? You can see in the back there. All right, these are 4th of July, they're called, these two here. Okay, so these two have really nice flowers and fruits already on them. All right, should remove that too. All right. And here we have the beefsteak. Well, I always want to have one, you know, more heirloom type bigger tomato slicing type thing, right? But as you can see, it's quite a bit smaller, because this one, you know, if you look at it from this area here, right, you clearly see, I mean, this one is about, you know, looks at me in the eyes. The other ones are much taller than me, reaching all the way to the eaves back there, you know. So they're in really good shape, and keep doing what we're doing. All right, salad now. What I like to do with my salads here, you know, is at least give it a once over, you know. So as I'm going through them, I kind of check, do I have dead leaves, things like that. So you see right here, remove that. not more back here. You know, I had an issue with those tomatoes last week. Essentially, my calculations were way off in what I needed and how much we could produce and all of that, how long it took. All right. So what ended up happening last week is that this variety was growing in the second trough back here, and they were like coming to here. Okay, and what ended up happening is that the weight of them basically crushed this harvest here, because they were all in this one. Okay, every hole, you know, like in my original video when I did all the calculation, you know, it seems reasonable, but it's way too much lettuce. So and I underestimated how big these things grow. Like, these things are not full maturity yet. You want to see a full maturity one, this one is one plant. All right, this is the last of that harvest that I'm gonna harvest today, right? So there's a lot of salad, lettuce in there, right? So it's the last one in this trough, which will take off and wash, and I'll show you why when we do that. But as you can see, you have essentially this one's at 6 weeks. Over there we're looking at 4, because the red one as well, because if you remember, I told you about that green one that fell over. That one would be 5 weeks. This one up here is 3 weeks, and these little guys in here are 2 weeks, right? So I've cut the production quite a bit with this one here. Actually, I've cut it even further with the one that's germinating right now, that's a week old. You know, basically this is 16, and that is just so that I can test the 2 varieties. You can see they're quite a bit different. This one is a red one, right? And this one is green, like these, but it's going to be a little, as you can see, it's already more frizzly, you know. So I think, well, basically the seeds, I'll put in the card here at the top the varieties they are. I don't remember the varieties, but they came, you know, they're supposed to be thicker, crunchier greens than these are, because you see this is very, very thin, so it doesn't, you know, it's not a fun salad to eat if you know, if there's no crunch, there's just bull. The middle's a little bit better, but still it's just this frizzly. All right, whereas these are a little bit much crunchier, and you can hear when sometimes I break one that it goes crunch. All right, so I think they're in good shape right now. So what I'm going to do is work on this back there, and so basically empty it, and I'll pull you in a little closer so you can see my how I do this. All right. If you recall, when we made this so that it could be easy to service, right? That I can pull this whole thing off. One of the things that I had done at the time is I had just that all in one piece. I've put a union now, so essentially it's a PVC union. All right, so basically two piece that have a little O-ring that you can't see, that are held together with this ring. All right, so now what we do is just pull it out, try to not break anything. Here we go. All right, what I do is when it's clear, just lift that out of the way, lift the top. All right, and I have this pump here that I use, all right, which I just drop in here. All right, put the hose out and plug it in. All right, empty. Put it there because we're going to use it for the tomatoes. This is how I measure my nutrients, so let me go do that and I will get back to you. The nutrients I use is Masterblend, it's called, okay? This is a lettuce formula, all right? And with the amount of water I'm putting in, I have to put 60, 60, and 40 grams, all right? So let's do that. Tar this. So now I put that in the black tank over there and fill it with water. All right, let's go do that. All right, so drop the nutrient in. And we're filling. While this is filling, right, so what I do is I like to keep the nozzle down and keeps agitating the nutrient so that it doesn't just stay in one spot and it kind of dissolves everything. All right, I wanted to show you some of the maintenance that has to do in the trough themselves. Algae tend to grow everywhere you give it some food and some light, all right? So as you can see in this trough, there's a lot, right? This one, if you look at it carefully, it's pretty clean because I just cleaned that one, all right, before I put these seedlings in, all right. The one we're gonna probably do today is this one back here. As you can see, very dirty, right? I'll show you how I clean those up in a second. We're gonna take this big head of lettuce out. Why don't we do that now? So here's what it's going to look like. So you can see underneath, you know, it's fairly full. So what I do is I just go in and grab the whole root ball, basically. This one's big, it doesn't want to come out too easy. As you can see, that's what we're dealing with here, right? Lots of lettuce. So let's go put that on the table over there so we can deal with the rest of them, right? All right, so I can deal with that later. Good. All right, back into the greenhouse. All right, filling's going well. All right, so as you can see, the modular kind of design that I did here allows me to just take one of the tube, put it there, and then I can remove all of this trough right here, okay? And that's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to need both my hands to do that, so I'll do that in a second. Yeah, let me put you back on the stand here so I can do that. So, yeah, take it out. Not difficult, very light, all right? I'm going to go put it over there so I can wash it, all right? All right, so the first thing I do is I basically spray it off. All right, that takes most of it off, but not all. All right, so what I do is I take a little bit of bleach here. And obviously I don't put a lot of it in it, right? Just a little bit. And just let it touch everything, okay? And already it's not happy with me. All right, we're just gonna let it go a little bit here. Wash this one. Yeah, so cleaning the trough is the same way, right? I did the other thing. I'm just gonna pour a couple of, ounces of bleach in there. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. All right. And all I do is I let it kind of swish around. Yeah, I can see where it is here. I'm just gonna Basically, I want all the algae to have a good drink of bleach. All right, here we go, here we go. Here we go. All right, and I just let it do its thing for a few minutes, and that usually takes care of everything. All right, this one gets rinsed and back in the greenhouse. All right, let it swish around for a little bit here, and we're good to go. All right. All right, all washed up. Let's put it back together. So the cord goes through the hole, but through here, through the hole. Lift everything up. So that's why that union is so nice, because now I can just, you know, I don't have to dismantle too much things, you know, it's all nice, and there we go. So back together. That goes back. Now we're gonna wrestle this thing that's full of water back in place here. Just give it a little bit more room so I don't break all the leaves here. All right. Here we go. Yeah. Union's aligning, so we're just going to screw it up. All right, so here I have two. Stay here because the third one's going to go in the front. Alright, let's start it up. Alright, system back up. Yeah, I'll put the other froth when I'm done washing it. Alright. Tomatoes. Alright, the system for the tomatoes is a little bit different as you remember, right? So this is a container as well, but it does the ebb and flow thing, right? So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put my pump in it. All right, stay straight. And this is the plug. And we're evacuating. Yeah, the reason I like to empty the tanks and not just refill them with liquid, the pH changes, right? And when the pH changes, it gets too much for the tomato, you know, one way or another. I don't remember which way it is, but by doing this, by making sure that I start from an empty tank every time, I don't have that problem. All right, so this is also Masterblend, right? Lettuce formula we put in the lettuce. Now we're gonna replace that with the tomato and vegetable formula, which is just, as you can see, the numbers are slightly different. 8-15-36, this is a 4-18-38, all right? So that's what we put with the tomatoes. We're doing a different amount because there's more water in the garbage can than there is in the pail, all right? Same process, just different quantity. that's the tomatoes. Let's go refill it. All right, same thing. This goes in, water goes in. Here, I wanted to show you this here. Remember, I wasn't sure what to do about the algae situation, and I thought that painting it black would work. It's working wonders. All right, so as you can see, there's barely nothing there. It's just a little bit of dirt at the bottom there. All right, if I go here, you can see that there's algae on top here. That's kind of normal. But as I go down here, there's nothing on the side. You see nice little roots of my tomato here. So yeah, paint the buckets black. All right, the system is all good. All right, guys, all full, all filled up. I'm gonna put this on. All right. Yeah, guys, so this is what I do on a weekly basis, basically. I don't clean this every week. You know, it's the first time actually I've cleaned it since we've put it on. It's just that it needed it right now, all right? But, yeah, system's growing well. Tomato are doing awesome. I mean, if their name is right, we should be eating those, you know, in a couple of weeks. 4th of July, they're early bloomers, right? I think these guys too might be ready by then, or some of them anyway. All right, hydroponic updates and maintenance for this week. All right, guys, give me a like if you like what I did, and we'll see you next time. Bye.